Hi, I'm Wendy Yellen, and this is the Art of Transformation. Today, I want to talk about how we intelligent people get fooled by our own mind and what you can actually do about it that's simple yet profound. Before I get into that, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. It really helps me reach people just like you, and thank you. All right. So there's a couple aspects of this being highly intelligent and getting fooled by our own mind. If this is you, then there's one other piece I want to ask you about. Have you ever wondered, has the idea ever occurred to you that maybe, just maybe, where you actually want to go in your life is not accessible just through your intellect? Not accessible just through your intellect. I did get to that point in my own life, and I suspect I'm not the only one. So let me give you a little bit of story here about my story, that piece of it, and see if you can relate. Grades were really important when I was a kid, getting into college. My grandfather was talking to me about college when I was in grade school, for sure, all the time. And there was a lot of expectation, just that I would go to a really good college and get a good degree. And it was just a given. I was known for the questions I would ask, and sometimes in my house, my mother would limit me to the questions I could ask because I was driving her nuts. So I led with my intellect, and I was smart enough, so that worked until it didn't. That's the part I'm wondering if you have gotten to yet. So it worked in all the ways that intellect works, but what about deeper, more spiritual places? What about, and this didn't come for years, but what about actually being able to speak from my heart, to feel people, to feel myself with people, to keep what often happens with intellect is a lot of judgment, and that's not a nice thing, right? That doesn't feel good at all, but it feels right, but it feels correct, but it doesn't feel right. So I noticed that as somewhere, I think probably in my late 30s, probably, I don't remember exactly, I started to want to go further than my intelligence could take me in who I was being in the world. And I realized, to my dismay, that the thing I'd been relying on for my entire life, big time, my intelligence, was not going to take me there. And that was scary because really I didn't know what else I had besides that. That was really the question. What else can I do where can I come from if I'm not coming from my head? It's scary. And that began a very deep dive into what do I have inside of me? How can I access it? And is there something more to me than just a head? It was a long, intense journey, and I had to grapple with the way my head would try to lead everything. Can you relate to this at all? If you're at the place where this is becoming a question for you, then this vlog is definitely for you. It will really help. One of the things I began to notice with my lifelong friends is that all of them led with their intellect. They were and are really smart. And I have friends really good friends that I've known since I was 15, and I'm really close to. They're smart people, men and women. But when they would get to only coming from their intellect, I started to be able to feel the judgment within intellect. And I began to get an experience of what my Eidetic practitioners, people that worked with me, were telling me was that, and I was beginning to get a glimpse of, was that I was, how to put it, I was not shallow, that's not it, that I was, these are my words, not theirs, but that I was defending people, defending myself from people with my head. You've probably experienced this when someone's just talking and talking and talking and talking, and they're completely not present. They're just in their head, and they've lost you, like right from the beginning. And it's not interesting. That's one way when somebody's in their head. But when somebody's in their intellect, they seem smart and right, but it's like there's nobody there but a head. There's nothing to connect to. There's no touch. There's no visceral connection. So let's come back to, so you may have noticed that when you're with other people, but what about yourself? If you're intelligent and you've been leading from your head all these years and have been successful because of it, but you think you want something more, you just don't know how to get there, then step one, if you haven't already done it, is to start to notice, if you can get in touch with feelings at all, start to notice how you actually feel when you're with someone else and you're being smart. Are you just being smart? Or are you getting something deeper from it and giving something deeper? Now, this is only for you if that's important to you. If it's not important to you, you're probably not listening anymore. Now, I know people who, if I said this to, are not interested in coming from a deeper place and connecting in a deeper way, and just couldn't stop. So this is, if some light is sneaking in here, peeking through, shining through, then let's follow that light. Let's follow the thread of whatever's pulling you forward into more of you. Let's talk about eidetic images here. So it was eidetic imagery, and working with Dr. Akhtar Asen, who's the father of eidetic imagery and who is my mentor and friend and teacher. He was the one that first helped me with this, because I didn't even hardly understand how I was coming across. And I want to add, there's a kind of impatience that can come with intelligence, because you're smarter than a lot of people and you know it. So they're getting it slower. Or they're not getting it, or they're not getting it at the 5 levels that you know, that you understand. And there can be an impatience. That's part of the judgment. And so I couldn't wait. I couldn't sit. I couldn't be, because I was so impatient in my head about a situation, a person not getting it. And that made me harder to contact and much more judgmental. You relating to some of this? You feeling some of it in yourself? Have you noticed it? Because I sure didn't know it in the beginning, but I'm hoping that what I'm saying will open you up a little bit more, because once you know this, you're probably going to want to shift, because as an intelligent person, you don't want to live your life that way. it's not deeply satisfying once you get it. All right, so let's go back to Eidetics. So one of the really foundational, fundamental, eye-opening, groundbreaking understandings of the mind that Dr. Asen brought forward was how to change, basically, and the way to the order in which to process. So an intelligent person processes with their thoughts. A person who leads with their intelligence, because that's more correct. So if you lead with your intelligence, then you have thought, judgment, understanding, thought, maybe some feelings. So you're dealing with meaning. In other words, that trauma meant that, and therefore you just fill in the blanks. Oh, I know what that means. That means my mother was this, my father was that. Oh, I know what that means. That means my partner is this, my partner is that, and therefore I will, blah, blah, blah. So it's all meaning, thought, and it's also all history. So that's what happened. I know that's what happened. And so I got to do this. It's cognitive, and it's also, once you start to look at it, it's a block. It's a square, and there are thick boundaries around it, and it's a done deal, right? That's how it feels sometimes, right? You know this. With Eidetics, you don't start with understanding. You don't start with the intellect. You don't start with meaning. You don't start the processing with history. And that's super important and really hard when you're smart, because your mind already knows, right? You've already jumped in, figured it out, solved it. Everybody else is still like scratching their head, and right? You already know. But you don't know. That's the thing. I didn't know. Really, there's more to what is going on than what your intellect has already told you. And you know this because something's not right in your world. Something's not right, doesn't feel right in the way you're feeling or not feeling, probably. And especially if you're someone who's wanting a deeper spiritual path and connection. In my opinion, that doesn't happen at all through the intellect. In fact, the intellect is an obstacle to it. So if you want that more spiritual connection, if you want that connection more to other people and to yourself, and to kind of like settle in more, maybe even to know what you're feeling, then let me continue with the process. So instead of starting with the intellect, instead of starting with feelings when you're processing something, and if you're like me, you probably don't know what a feeling is. People would ask me what I was feeling, and I would say, well, I think, I had no clue. It was just incredible, because I was all up here. Okay, so the third step is layers of meaning. So instead of starting with the head, instead of starting with feelings, instead of starting with meaning or history, in an eidetic image, which is a way not just to process, but to soften the crust. Maybe for you, it would be the crust of just coming from here, but wanting something more. It would soften the crust of history, soften the way you stop yourself from emerging, and then start to actually emerge. start to come across. You're already a thought leader in some way or other. You're already a leader because of your intelligence. You can be. But what about a deeper self? What about a spiritual connection? What about heart? What about contact? When you put those all together, then you can emerge fully you, and you won't lose your intellect. You won't become less intelligent. It'll serve you in a much better way. That was my fear, that if I had to not come from my intellect, what the heck was I going to do? Who was I going to be? It's very satisfying, actually. So how would that work in an example? When you're leading from your intellect, then you would say something like, my father was overwhelming. I'm just making this up, right? My father was overwhelming. He took all the air out of the room. I always felt smaller than him, and that's who he was, and I forgive him, and now I'm okay. I mean, obviously that's a little bit kind of silly, but that is not so far from a summary of what people say. But you can feel it when I say that. It's so superficial, right? If I wanted something deeper, eventually I wanted something deeper, and now that's all I'm willing to be with. I can't tolerate that level of superficiality because it doesn't go anywhere. So, what happens, excuse me, what happens if you see an image of your parents in the house that you grew up in, the house that you think of as a home? Don't create the image. Just wait. Stop. You don't have to stop the thoughts. Just wait and see, what do I see? See your parents in the house that you think of as a home, the house you grew up in. One house will come, don't pick it. One, at whatever age will come, don't pick it. Just wait and see it. What is mother doing? What is father doing? How do you feel when you see them? Where are you? How old are you? What are you doing? What do you see? What are you doing? And how do you feel? You're doing all of this by looking, and you're not controlling it. Don't control it. Just let it emerge. It'll come. So you're seeing your father, you're seeing your mother, you're seeing yourself, and you're noticing how you feel when you see each of them, where you are, what you're doing, how old you are. And now you can use your mind a little bit and ask yourself, how is what I'm feeling related to what I'm struggling with or grappling with in my life right now, in terms of the feelings or the situation? Maybe you feel left out. Maybe you feel a desire to connect, but you can't. Maybe you see someone really sad and you feel like you can't do anything about it, and so you withdraw. Maybe you're in your room completely separate, with some part of you not feeling okay, but just taking care of yourself that way. It's an endless number of possibilities here. Everybody's is unique. There is some way that this particular image, if you gave it a mind of its own and didn't control it, is related to whatever it is you're grappling with right now. And it's a deeper level of it, in my opinion, than your mental understanding. And if you just sit in the image and let yourself see father, see mother, feel what you feel when you see them, and let the image go for a little bit, you'll feel it more and more if you're able to contact some feelings. Or you might just be getting a sense, oh, there's something here. If that's the case, and you want to see and experience and be more of who you are, that's not only your intellect, but doesn't eliminate your intelligence and your good mind, then let's talk. If there's something that you want in a deeper way, then click on the link, apply for a conversation with me. It's a gift, my gift to you. I'll work with you a little bit, and we can discuss whether or not this is something that you would like to gather more of in yourself so that you're blooming in a different way, that other parts of you can arise. All right? If that's you, then I would love to talk to you, and I'll see you on the next recording. Bye for now.